There we go. Let us pop the chat out. There. Ugh, I'm tired. What's up, Mohammed? What's up, Phantom Tarek? Dino Loom? How's it going, people? Swamporo? Yeah, Swamporo. But Ninja, SpongeBob Man. How is it going, everyone? Green Knight, Pony Dragon 5127. Kedinu. Guardian Pikaboy. Let me address the elephant in the room. Why Arbok? We're gonna get. That's the. Don't worry, Mohammed. If you know you've been around here for a while now, you know we're gonna let everyone come in first. We're gonna get everyone here, and then I'll address the elephants. But how is your Saturdays going, guys? Ruben, cool of the dudes. How is it going, people? Yeah, we got the episode out. You know, I did it in under a month. It's a Christmas miracle. Let us address the snake in the safari. D'Amico, how's it going? Yeah, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. We get to enjoy a nice Gary and Ash face off. Swivel trainer user. This is most of the waiting for people to pop in is just me reading off names. I've realized someone, I forget who, someone in my last stream transcribed my opening like minute of me talking, and you don't realize how stupid you sound until you read it out loud. Because it's one thing when I'm just sitting here and I'm vamping. I'm just like, all right, we're just trying to get stuff in, then I can actually talk about the stuff. But I say a lot, I repeat myself a lot. It's not pretty. It's not a good look on old Dollywop here. Where is that delectable bugger? Delectable? Delightful. There he is. There's Mr. Sad Boy. We're gonna place Arbok off to the side there. We were ready to go full villain mode when we get to Callus. Yep. Pulled a Cobra out of a basket. Why is the color so dark compared to normal Arbok? We're gonna address that. I think we'll get into it. Did you move from the garage? I did, Ion. I'm now in a room. I now have a room, and I'm not next to all my brother's power tools and, you know, wood equipment. Spinell, how's it going? User, you can't just ask why he's black, dude. That's so uncalled for. It's 2026, man. Memes are funny. So, why Arbok and, oh, the Johto team has changed quite... Actually, the Johto team is a pretty extreme change, too. I don't think the Johto team is not as extreme as the Kanto team, is what I'll say. I don't think it's that, look, normal Arbok. It's not as that extreme of a choice. Maybe one or two choices, but, like, it's in a more cohesive vein than Kanto, which is, y'all can't predict this shit. So, I'm going to go over why Arbok is colored the way he is. It's a stylistic choice. I used the original art for reference, and I clicked on one of the darker spots, and I kind of liked how it wasn't bright purple like the anime or like the games. I kind of like this darker tone to it, so I colored it dark. I also figured if I'm going to have another, or like if Ash has a Team Rocket encounter in the future, and we see Jesse's Arbok or something, like, you can distinctly tell other than art style why it is. But also, it's kind of just, like, a fun stylistic choice, you know? Also, like, you could perceive that, like, certain, you know, environments can affect Pokemon differently. It's not enough for a full, like, regional variant, but if you live in an environment like, you know, if an Arbok, say, lives in a more, like, darker, leafy environment, maybe it, develops a darker color scheme over, like, real evolution, not Pokemon evolution. To help blend into the surroundings and the shadows. So yeah, it's just, I picked this color, for no reason, really. It was just like, oh, look, do one of these. No. Do a little of that, and we're good. So, why am I giving Ash an Arbok? Well, Ash catching is, he might more catch. Yeah, so, okay. So, you know what? I'm going to stand up for this. We're going to go standing desk for this, guys. Hold on. Make sure I'm still on camera. Oh, my forehead. My massive forehead. There we go. Little of this. A little to the side. There we go. So, why Arbok? Well, in some ways, it came down to just a, oh, actually, I'll bring up the sheet. So, let me show you guys the thought process behind how I did this. When I was going over the list of Kanto mods, because you could ask Ion, you could ask any Alex, Abdul. OBS disconnected recently. Recently, just randomly disconnected, so we're good. So the chat is rolling in, and I have to answer like one question, and y'all have a bunch of questions. It has a little bit of a unique pattern, by the way. It's kind of hard to tell in that art. Let me see if I can pull up a better reference art. But if you see here, its pattern is more in a frowny face almost. It's a lot softer. The eyes are more downturned. I did that on purpose. Why Arbok? So I was, yeah, no, my audio, my thing meant, OBS just disconnected randomly for me. I don't know why. So, yeah, no, I got a random notification. Yeah, well, so going over this list, like, when it comes to choosing Ash's final team member, there's obvious, like, I just went down this list of all fully evolved Kanto mons and eliminated the, like, choices that either I feel like I have already given to another trainer, so I don't want to use them. I have a type coverage. I already have them. Or, like, I just didn't feel like using them. So, in reality, when it came to the Kanto options, like, I didn't want to use Farfetch'd. I already used Farfetch'd. I already have a water type. He caught Muck. Did that. I didn't want to use Hypno, because I already have, I don't have a Psychic type on the team. I already eliminated Kangaskhan in my brain. Rhydon didn't want to use. These two are actually open. Electrode, Kingler, Starmie. And I said no on Mr. Mime. Here. And there. So, these were my only options left out. You didn't miss much, Quiznos. We literally just started. I have not read any of the chat because y'all are amazing. Yeah, the Pinsir was a little bit of a fake out. Actually, Pinsir was on the, I don't know why I nimulated him. Pinsir was there as well. So, these were the options I was left with. Arbok, Persian, Dugtrio, Venomoth, Golbat, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Lickitung, Chansey, Pinsir, Scyther. And I'll go through how it went. Golbat I didn't want to use because I wanted this to be a Kanto Pokemon on the Kanto team. So if I used Golbat, I would feel obligated to evolve it to Crobat. And it's like, I could do it. It wasn't off the realm of possibilities, but I just I did, like, I think it just didn't make the cut. It was a strong option, but one that didn't make the cut. Doug Trio, I already have a ground type. Persian, I wanted to make work so badly, but I felt like it'd be a little too weird with Team Rocket's Meowth. Even though Team Rocket doesn't show up a lot, like, really, Persian just did not fit the team dynamic as the way I was going for. You know, it was one I could have made work. I just ultimately chose not to. Because I think the way I would imagine Persian as a personality is I would make it like a feral, like more like big cat kind of thing, like a tiger or a leopard. And I already kind of have that feral nature in Ninetales that I didn't want to mix with. Not even Koga had it, because I mean gym leaders can have Pokemon that Ash can catch as well. It's like it was more of a, it just didn't like, it just didn't feel right. A lot of these aren't like honest, like, you know, I did every calculation and I figured out that this is the best team. Some of it's like when you're writing teams out for Ash, it's vibe. Like Chansey was one I consider a lot, but I eliminated it for the same reason, because Chansey would have been an out there choice, been really cool. I could have made it work. But Chansey kind of had the same vibe as like a Wigglytuff or Clefable, which adds that female element to the team, as like Ash already has 2 female Pokemon. I wanted a more like tougher looking Pokemon and for the main team, because otherwise then the team would feel a little too feminine. For at least Ash's first team, I didn't want to go about that route. Lickitung, I just didn't like. It was goofy, and I really couldn't come up with much of her personality other than one that just is the opposite of it. Scyther, funny enough, almost made the cut. Its moveset's just so garbage. Like, there's just nothing fun I can do in Gen 1 with a Scyther's moveset. Ditto, I wanted to make... Like, Ditto, I realized that even if I really wanted to use Ditto, I would rather have Ash have a Ditto starter. If I could go back and redo this entire story, I would make Ditto the starter instead of actually using a Ditto. Because Ditto, I would want to use a Ditto long term and put a lot of thoughts and focus and do a lot of cool stuff with it. And I didn't want that to just be a Kantomon like that. Pinsir I considered, I just didn't vibe with it. The Hitmons were actually a very early knockoff on this list because they're such a duo. But after giving Gary Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee almost got rewritten to be Hitmonlee. I really consider that. And just to throw this out there, that Hitmonlee was not Hitmonlee wasn't a Hitmonchan isn't like, here's the best way to put it. Hitmonchan isn't like a main member of Gary's team. Like, it's not like if you had to give Gary his elite team of 6, I'm not sure if Hitmonchan's on that. Really, having Hitmonchan was more of a sidewinder throw to you guys and to Ash, where it's like, Gary's a good trainer. He catches multiple different types of Pokemon. He's not just like, here's my team of 6. He's like, here's my team of 10 that I rotate out and train and work on and have like ones to fit every situation. Like, he made sure Hitmonchan had Thunder Punch for like flying types, you know? It had agility to outspeed. Like, he really strategized with that Hitmonchan. Does it mean, like, going forward, every time we see Gary, like, on his main team, Hitmonchan's going to be there? No, 100%. I already know who Gary's, like, 3 carry-out mons from Kanto are. And I'm not sure if Hitmonchan's on the list. We'll see. So Hitmonchan was off the thing. Venomoth, Ionic Bond over here really wanted Venomoth. And I could have made a giant Venomoth work. The only problem is its move coverage was very psychic heavy, and I already kind of have a pseudo psychic in Golduck, and so at the end of the day, it really left me with Arbok. And the way I described Arbok to myself, and by the way, Jessie does still have her Arbok. The way I described Arbok is a naturally intimidating Pokemon to the point where he scares people on sight. But underneath it all, he's a very lonely little guy that wants friends. That's why you see him, he kind of has this like crybaby expression. He's a little sad boy. You know, he just wants friends. And so you know, like Ash really wasn't in the headspace to catch a Pokemon, like Arbok. Normally, it's kind of Arbok fits him like a glove in terms of its weirdness. I did not say a racial slur. Don't worry, you'll know if I say racial slurs. Don't put lies on my name, not. Yeah, it is challenging to make a new team from scratch and have some anime ideas. And you'll probably see a Jesse versus Ash Arbok at some point, because Team Rocket's not gone. I saw a question earlier that, is the Meowth-Pikachu rivalry still going? If it does, I mean, like, it was an initial idea I had when I first was conceptualizing that Team Rocket would be a lot more involved, the trio would. But if it does get touched on more, it will be, in every Team Rocket appearance, it'll be touched on, and then also more of a factor in Johto when I make Team Rocket a more important role. Cad, you are not cooking with that idea. And who's to say whether Arbok is a coward or not? Like, I wouldn't attribute him as a coward. The Arbok is like not, he's not a, like, here's the thing. It's not a, he's not much, like, we'll see him fight. No, you're good, Pascat. It's literally, I mean, it's a fair question. I'll make fun of you for it, but it's literally just because I thought it looked cool. Because I looked at the original art, I was like, oh, I like it when it's darker like that, you know, instead of like the bright purple. So I was like, all right, cool. And it helps in his intimidation factor. Like, he looks sinister. So, like a shadow Pokemon. So, like, Arbok, like, in its first appearance here, we haven't really seen it battle. Because it wasn't going into that intending to fight. It thought it was making friends. So that's kind of the thing that, with Arbok as well, where he's, like, almost childlike. Like, he's not the youngest on the team, but he definitely feels like the youngest. So, we're going to go over some questions here, so I'm going to finally get in the mix. Oh yeah, Axolotl guy. It's basically like, I went down the list of options, and it literally just settled on Arbok, you know? And then I gave him this, like, he's a very big, intimidating Pokemon that scares everyone, and, you know, but underneath it all, he's just a lonely softie who wants to make friends. He's very childlike. So he doesn't really he doesn't have the nuance to understand why people run from him. It's more along the lines of, like, you know, he doesn't think that grabbing Pikachu like that and whisking away into the darkness was, like, that's gonna look bad if I do that. He's like, oh, friend, you know? Which is why people run. So the reason I picked that face pattern is, one, I was a little low on time, so I just went based off the original art. But also, I just kind of made it a little more droopy to kind of give him more of a sad appearance. Farfetch'd was the OG roster. Why not him? Because I didn't want to use Farfetch'd. Because I was like, you know, I was just very on Farfetch'd. You know, I was like, all right, cool. I mean, yeah. I also wanted to stick it to everyone who's like, Ash needs a flyer. Fuck you guys. I hate that line. No, I'm over-exaggerating. But it was to be like, but it also does prove a point to you guys that, like, what you think a team needs isn't, like, you have a set of rules in your head, and it's not all, like, I'm not following those rules. Ash will have up to 8 Pokemon Kanto, 2 he catches before the league, and then 2 in the Orange Islands. So he'll have a total around 10 Pokemon. So you can expect at least 2 more Pokemon before the league, 2 during the Orange Island saga. So, I think I saw a question that was, because I am all over the place, because I haven't gotten to read the chat because I was answering that. It was about, I think along the lines of, was Brock being legitimate with Giselle when he was giving her that pep talk? Yeah, 100%. Like, he's like, you've spent a lot of time training, but, like, not as much time in real battles. So terrain is a factor in a battle, you know, and it can be unexpected. It's why Koga laid landmines everywhere, to be like, expect the unexpected. So you never know what's going to happen. Brock also utilized his terrain better. He actually utilized the mines to his advantage. So it really showed he is definitely the smartest of the Ash main traveling trio. He's the smartest when it comes to battling. I'm very tempted to give my Ash a Venomoth now. I say go for it. Honestly, I really, like, I mean, I wanted to do it for Ion. Ion wanted Venomoth so badly, and I was just like, it could work. But, like, I just don't think it fits what I'm going for. I would love to use, like, but I think if I did Venomoth, I would want a little Venonat first, and this one had to be an Arbok and not, like, an Ekans. I don't think Arbok and Ninetales are very similar at all, because, like, Arbok's in the Safari Zone, which can be dangerous. It's a little bit more wild and uncontained, but it is nothing like the island Ninetales is going for. Like, the Safari Zone is still managed by Koga and his gym trainers and Fuchsia City, so there is a level of interference. Where Ninetales came from, that island has so little league presence that the Pokemon are much more wild and untamed. Like, Ninetales, like, I think I've said this before, Ninetales doesn't have, like, a tragic backstory. Like, it's not like she was abused or something. It's like, no, she is just a wild, feral fucking animal that had to fight every day for survival, like every animal in the human world. Like, that's really what it is. Like, for her, battles are survival. They are not like, oh, we can have a little fun sparring match and stuff. It's like, oh, this guy's trying to kill me. You know, that's why, you know, we do stuff. And also, getting hurt in the wild is like a death sentence. So it's like, you could see where also she developed her more illusionary hunter battle style. Because it's like, if I do direct confrontation, something physically stronger could really, if they like sprain my back leg, I'm easy pickings for something else. When we get to Hoenn, is there going to be hints or mentions of Primal, Groudon, Kyogre, or Mega Rayquaza? Probably. I don't know if I'll do direct, like, this is Mega Rayquaza and Primal, Groudon, Kyogre, but I think I will reference it. When's the next update, episode update, brother? I have not started on it. I mean, like, I work on an episode, and then once I'm done, I start on the next one. I have future plans. There is, like, I know how the Blaine battle roughly will go. I know how the episode before the Blaine battle is supposed to go. Or not the battle, but the episode. But I need one, possibly, I'm debating it. I might need one filler episode between that episode and, you know, right now. So I'm trying to come up with what to do for that. I have no clue what to do for it. I'm still wondering if at least there could be a slim chance Jessie could get a Cloyster on her team. I still feel it would have been badass. Possibly. Like, I might throw Jesse and James a bone, and they might have an additional Pokemon or two, but we won't really know till Johto. I remember as a kid thinking a fire ult for Ash would be Flareon. Now I imagine with constant sniffles, allergies, easily release fire symptoms. Quiznos, you're thinking like a Dollywop fan right there. You're thinking like me. Because Flareon, actually, there was a part of me where I was like, oh, I could have used Flareon instead of Ninetales. That would have been cool. It would have been the same thing, but it would have been really cool. Will intros be different every region to fit the style of the region's games? Yeah, that's what I'm going to shoot for. It's going to get a lot harder for me as it kind of goes on, but I'm going to try for it. If an enemy used Attract an Arbok, would it backfire since it gives crushing hugs? Possibly. That'd be a fun thing. Can Ash's Arbok regenerate? I'd say so. Yeah. Is that a shiny Arbok? No, it's just a regular one that just like slightly different colored. It's just an environmental adaptation. Speaking of terrains, you know that your writing is good when you care about your environment. Plus, Pokemon has terrains in Gen 7. Yeah, exactly. So, the battles were very quick. Actually, this leads into Mohammed. Why did Giselle pick Queenie over Kingy? Because for Queenie, she has Water Gun, she has Double Kick, and she really wanted that and she has Reflect. So, she has that Water Gun as a... Giselle's thought process was that, like, Brock has a lot more experience when it comes to, like, rock and by proxy ground-type Pokemon, which is why she didn't go with Sandslash, because he helped her develop a lot of Sandslash. Because, like, he's a rock-type trainer. Rock and ground are very close in nature. So, she was also worried that Sandslash's attack power, and even with his ground-type attacks, might not be able to shatter Brock's rocks. So, she thought weakening him with water and using, like, Double Kick, or even getting a lucky poison with Poison Sting, would be the way to go. The unfortunate part is just Brock is a more experienced trainer, despite having weaker Pokemon. He was able to get his Pokemon to a level. Like, I think if it was an even match, 1-for-1 with no bombs, I think Giselle could have won that. But Brock was able to utilize the environment to his advantage. Um, so is, will Ash get an Eevee? I don't know. Why doesn't Arbok have parents? His parents left. I mean, you know, like, he grew up alone. So what badges do Green and Gary still need? Gary, I think they both definitely need Giovanni's. Green, I can't remember. I know Gary already got Blaine, so I think he needs Blaine, or Gary almost might need just Giovanni's. And that's it. I can't remember. I don't have that fully mapped out in my head yet, but is Gary battling a Pidgeotto in the tournament? A reference to Pidgeotto being the main Bluemon outside the Kanto? No, it's a, you might be reading a little too far. It's actually a Pidgeot. But also, I asked Abdul what Pokemon he wanted to use, and he said Pidgeot. So it was just as simple as that. Would Ninetales get scared of how big Arbok is, seeing how he acts? Before seeing how he acts? Possibly. I'm working on that the dynamics before the next episode. What's up, CMA Nerd? Harris, I gotta give you an apology. I couldn't get the emoting Blastoise done in time. I wanted to do it, but I was literally doing sound design this morning and getting everything done. You know, and then when I thought about it, I just had no place to insert it, especially because it was such a seldom moment between Gary and Ash that after the battle that Blastoise emoting behind, you know, Gary in during his sad time just didn't feel right. But I will make an emoting Blastoise. I got spoilers for Arbok because I started watching the episode when Ash caught Arbok and the chat went crazy. So next time, do that later for the episode. Lesson learned. Yeah, if you don't want spoilers, even if you're missing the premiere, you'll have the episode once it's done and then all that. Lore question: are humans Pokemon since they can learn moves like Aura Sphere? No, Aura is kind of like its own concept that I'll delve into at some point. But humans aren't Pokemon. Aura, in my world, Aura is the equivalent of your soul. So everything has Aura minus ghost types, you know? Why Ash lost in the tournament? Well, because there was no fucking way he could win. Oh my god, no. There was I'm glad I can finally talk about this. He had Green and Gary in there. He's getting smoked. There is no, there's no plot. I myself would have to nerf Gary and Green so hard to make Ash win. You know, it was, it is just I do power scaling in my series. I know how strong everyone is relatively to each other, and Gary and Green just are above Ash. Because think about it this way. They train. Ash does not train. He does not train his Pokemon to be stronger at all. That's why at the end you have that line of Cubone, or Pikachu being you know, Pikachu doesn't say it, but basically Pikachu goes to Cubone and being like, hey, we need to train. And Cubone's like, I got you, bro. I'm on it. So, Cubone's going to be essentially helping Cubone's going to be helping the team get stronger, but Ash still isn't training them. And that's kind of my workaround to help Ash's Pokemon reach another level where it doesn't, you know, where they can compete in the league. Yeah, you will see Arbok's moves in the next episode. Yeah, their reaction, if Green and Blue later met Arbok, their reaction is going to be, what the hell? No Jigglypuff Easter eggs in this episode. You'll see, honestly, it's going to be kind of a running theme going forward to see if you can spot the Jigglypuff, because Jigglypuff is following Ash. No, a full year has not passed yet, Inferno. We're probably there's probably 3 or 4 months left before the league. I would say every league in my brain is around a year. What did Gary think after fighting Ash and Golduck? He does respect Ash. He does think Ash has improved a lot. He's impressed that Ash has managed to take that little Psyduck that couldn't even help Gary survive on that island against Rhyhorn and managed to make him that competent. And Gary, you do see that Ash, despite losing, Ash did show competence. He was able to see that, hey, if I soak Gary's Hitmonchan, if it tried to use Thunder Punch, it's going to shock itself. And he was able to get one over on Gary. So it wasn't a stomp or anything. it was literally just like Gary just was able to like outmaneuver Ash. Like Ash is more focused on attack moves than anything. He's not really one for like, you know, like Golduck has disable. How many times has Ash used disable? You know, that's not like a me just forgetting he has disable thing. That's a literally like Ash just doesn't think about using like disarming moves like that. He's more attack, you know? Like if Ash utilized disable, that could have been something that helps, because the biggest part about Hitmonchan is, so Hitmonchan also does not teleport. I know I made it look like teleport with like instant transmission, but he is just really fucking fast. It's really just to convey speed without me just being like, whoop, like character drags across screen really fast. With Ash versus Green, if that had happened, Ash would have lost. Green's Primeape would have just ragdolled Golduck across the fucking field, and you know, Ivysaur still would have evolved to Venusaur to fucking clock Golduck, and because Ash was not risking Ninetales, like he was happy to have like Ninetales against some opponents he definitely thought like he like knew for a fact he could beat, but against like his rivals, he was not going to risk Ninetales like that. Is that Dratini a reference to the one you gave Gary in the new teams for Ash's rivals videos? Yeah, no, that was one of the thoughts. I mean, like I planned from Gary to have a Dratini from the beginning. I thought this was a good way of going about it. Like the with Green versus Gary, I got a comment a long time ago, like on one of my videos. I think it was on the episode where Green appears to help with Misty and Gyarados. Is that Green comes off slightly as a Mary Sue, and it wasn't something I really take too much to heart. It was more along the lines of it just made me think for a moment, like, am I? And it was like, really, it's just you don't see her fail too much. Like the only difference between her and Gary is that she's nicer, you know, because she's just strong like a little dumber Gary, you know, like. Because we don't really see the consequences, but like the way I have always thought about it is that with the Gyarados episode and with the Giselle catching Pokemon episode, Green risked people's lives and almost got people killed with her plans, where Gary would have more sufficient plans like that, you know? But this was also to show that like Gary is a very strong and intelligent trainer. And also Green deserved to lose, you know? It's like, you know, sometimes you need a loss on someone. That was part of it, but also Green, in my head, Blue is stronger than, or Gary is stronger than Green. I'm doing good, Das Captain. But Arbok gives off some Courage the Cowardly Dog energy. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Now I want the like the dun 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 dun, like the Courage the Cowardly Dog music going on as Arbok goes and grabs a chair. Like, you guys ever seen those memes that was just like, oh my god, it's like when you're scared, but Courage the Cowardly Dog taught you to swing first and ask questions later, and just someone like waddles off and grabs like a chair to hit someone. Oh, it's funny. What if you gave Ash a Dunsparce? I mean, it's one of those things where I've considered it. It's definitely been one of those on the Johto list I've considered. Where did Brock and Giselle go? They went to the Pokemon Center. Like I said in the episode, they were like, all right, I guess Ash is cooling down. If he doesn't show up by morning, we're going to go looking for him. Can I just say your script style is really fun? Yeah, no, thank you. I try my best. I usually write stuff from a writing perspective, not a video perspective. So you can see some weaker points in the episode where like I'm overly descriptive about something and the visuals might not match up, or like there might be a pause in the video slightly where I'm like just throwing random shit in there to fill the time because I'm describing something that I've already shown on screen. But I think the way I've described things helps. Not all of Gary's Pokemon have teleport. Hitmonchan's just fast. Like Ninetales and Ash's arc, we are rapidly almost to the point where they will finally kind of reconcile their differences. You know, they'll still learn more, but Ninetales' arc is coming. You know, it's like her overall arc of learning to work with Ash. It's coming to an end sooner than you guys think. You're good, Masoji. I hate when that happens. My younger brother can eat so much food. We'll have like leftovers from like pizza or something from the previous night. And I'm like, yes, can't wait to have some pizza more. And it's all gone. He ate it all in the middle of the night. Is Ash gonna have more than 6 Pokemon? Yeah, no, he's gonna have more than 6 Pokemon. He's gonna always have his main team of 6 here. So the main team of 6. I haven't gotten an Arbok card yet because remember how I showed you guys a long time ago? I have like a card from the first generation of Pokemon cards of each Pokemon on Ash's team. I gotta get an Arbok card. I don't have one, unfortunately. And The whatchamacallit? But the main team is Pikachu, Tangela, Golduck, Ninetales, Cubone, and Arbok. And that is our main team of guys. Like, that is Ash's. When Ash flashes back, this is the team of 6. And then he has 2 additional Pokemon. They're more of a Muk, Tauros, Kingler situation. They're going to be used a lot more than that. But, like, this is Ash's core Kanto team. Yeah, no, Arbok doing the really courage. Why is Pikachu taking a back seat? Because I literally have 7 generations to do more with Pikachu. You know, because I have to give you, like, because you guys have also seen Pikachu all the fucking time, so who fucking cares? Like, Ash and Pikachu, you have 20 million seasons of the Pokemon show if you want to see more of that. I have to endear you to 5 new characters that replace the original Kanto team and make you like them. Like, I have to develop these motherfuckers. If Red from the mainline games was Ash's big brother, would Red actually train Ash a little sometimes? I don't think so. I think Ash, like, the problem with Ash isn't that he, the problem with Ash isn't that his team is, or that he, like, doesn't have people who want to help him. The problem is Ash isn't receptive to the help. Like, Brock wants Ash to be a better trainer, but he also wants Ash to learn on his own. So I think Red would take a similar approach. Does Green refer to herself in the third person? No. Sometimes my dialogue gets a little messed up where I have a character talking and they refer to themselves in the first person. But usually I try and stick to referring people in the third person so you know what I'm talking about. Because I don't have mouth flaps moving for you guys to, like, know. I have usually some visual indication, but does Ash's Arbok have Intimidate? If that is a canon ability, does Arbok get Intimidate? I think so. Because if so, yeah, no, it does. Yeah, its ability is Intimidate. 75 viewers, holy fucking shit, you guys kill it. That's the most amount of viewers on thing. I hope Granny Ketchum will be a more important character in the future. Yeah, when Ash gets fucking iced in the future, he's gonna see Granny Ketchum across the river Styx. Also, what's up, Rose? Shout out to Rose, one of my good friends. Why is Ninetales racist? Because I'm racist. And my Pokemon reflect me, of course. I actually have no idea why you're asking that. Is it because it's a are you talking about, like, against Johto Pokemon? Also, I totally thought it was Lickitun's growing grabbing Pichu. I was not expecting a big Arbok. Yeah, no. Why is Arbok black? Stylistic choice. I'm really salty because the top comment in the video was about Ash losing and getting Arbok. Kind of ruined the rest of the episode for me. Oof. Unfortunate. I'm sorry about that. You should do a fossil episode for the filler you're planning on doing. Possibly. Will Ash fight Giovanni or Rocket Admin or some BS like Rachio? Possibly. Instead of the poker app, we have Arbok the Cowardly Snake segment. That'd be funny. I like the Gary fighting type Mon is the Gen 1 famous on for his type coverage, fitting strategy, battle style. I mean, while Green fighting type is just a very, very angry monkey. Yeah, no, I mean, it fits their battle style. Like, Green's, like, fighting type is a rage monster. Gary's is a finesse fighter. Ash's Pokemon is currently 10 out of the possible 151, basically. I really enjoy how the team has been made so far. It felt so different from the initial video I made. That was a big thing. It's why you don't see other Pokemon that from the original video is because, one, I just want to experiment with different stuff. Like, I love the team I've made here. It took some time. There's certain different choices I would make if I could go back, but I do love what I constructed here. And I want for all the OG fans of Dollywop, all the people who watched that first video that actually got my channel to mean something, to actually get me to a point where I want you to have surprises in this. I don't want you to be like, well, I saw the first team video, so it's like, well, I enjoy the adventure. I'm just like, I know what's coming, you know? Arbok, I'm really glad you guys are receptive to Arbok. Arbok was a real risk taker for me. I think Ash's next Pokemon catch is even riskier. But I think Arbok, with his personality, I wasn't expecting, you know, you guys are always good. You guys are always good. So it's not, you know, Yeah, you guys are good people. You accept my changes and my bullshit, and I appreciate it. If the series played out, if Green got Squirtle, Gary got Pikachu, Ash got Bulbasaur, I think Ash would actually have a much harder time than he does now. I think one of the advantages he has is Pikachu's overwhelming power. And while Bulbasaur is an easier Pokemon to raise, Ash isn't a good enough trainer to take advantage of it. Are Green and Gary going to stop catching Pokemon until Kanto League ends? Kind of. Another race car enthusiast course. Daytona 500? Right up my alley. Any chance for Ash to get other Team Rocket owned Pokemon in the future? Possibly, if they fit the team. Like, I wasn't really thinking along the lines of like, well, this is a Team Rocket Pokemon. I'm like, it's just an Arbok, you know? You're attached to Ninetales and Beedrill, and Arbok has me intrigued. Well, I'm glad. I'm going to show off a lot of Arbok in the next episode. We're going to see some of the more of the team members that have taken a little bit of a backseat, you know? It's actually Joey and the Winged Dragon of Raw. I found this art on Twitter. So, you know, my man should have had the Winged Dragon of Raw. Joey Wheeler's the best. But, shit's been good. I don't know if Gary and Green are going to stop catching Pokemon. I think they have probably the roster they want so far. So they have a very, like, you guys don't know what they have. So, just did team check. The team has a major ground weakness, Psychosis, just only to Arbok. Team is, really balanced as frick. Yeah, well, it's with a lot of this stuff, you don't really, I don't make these teams with team balance in mind, funny enough, because when people think about team balance, I just think of XY fans, because the only reason team balance is brought up is because XY fans were so like, our team's so amazing and great, look at their battle record, look at all this stuff, and people are like, all right, well, your team has major weaknesses to ice, and they were like, well, it's about personality that matters, guys, and you're like, oh, you weren't saying that before, fuckers. Go ahead, CMA nerd, I don't say stuff I don't mean. Nah, but I'm messing. I joined late, it's probably been answered, but why Arbok? It was literally just like the choice that came down to it. I literally went down the roster and eliminated all the options and settled on Arbok, you know, and I had a cool personality to make for him. I do remember there was an old poster that showed Ash's team of Pichu, Charizard, Venusaur, Squirtle, Pidgeot, and Tauros. That team probably would have done a lot for him in the OG anime, 100%. I don't like those Johto mons. They should be back in the Pokedex where they belong. Oh my god. Yeah, so basically, the way Ninetales Fire transformation works is she has Flash Fire as an ability. Ash won't really learn about abilities till Gen 3, but basically she's immune to fire. So she just ignites her entire body, so she's just untouchable physically. Arbok needs a new evolution so badly? I don't think so. I think Arbok's pretty cool. Not to be harsh, but maybe it's because I've seen too much of the Kanto Pokemon. I was kind of underwhelmed with the price, Ginny and Ash's Arbok. Well, I think one of those things is that people really got in their heads about, like, what the... Like, it's a mixture of what the energy I give off and what I say versus the prize Pokemon. Arbok, I hope you warm up to. I like him, but I know everything about him. So hopefully you'll enjoy him more in the future as we see him. Because we've only seen, like, a few minutes of Arbok. For Dratini, I mean, like, when you think about it in retrospect, what else would the rare prize Pokemon in Fuchsia City with the Safari Zone right there? It's like, what Pokemon are we talking about, guys? You know, but the reason why people said Dratini, despite my rules of Ash can't get anything he's caught before, but there was a mix of people who were like, we don't think it's Dratini because Ash already has a Dragonite and we think he's going to win this tournament versus I think it's going to be Dratini and Ash is going to lose this tournament. So, to each his own, but you're wrong and I'm right. Never forget, guys, the golden rule. I'm always right. After completing the tournament arc, how do you view it went? I had fun, but it's curious opinion. It was my first tournament. I think there was definitely some things I could have adjusted and made better. I think, think it was a good stepping stone for Ash of another kind of major loss to help... Hang on one second. Go, dog, go. But I think it was another... it's a good trainer milestone for Ash. Like, I know some people think, I have one comment that was a super analysis where Ash needed to win this tournament because yada, yada, yada. And it's like, people are thinking too hard about Ash and Kanto as Ash as a standalone guy. Yeah, but people are thinking too much about Ash having a standalone character arc in Kanto. Ash has a character arc in Kanto, and we're going to get to it by the end of Kanto here. But, like, I have 6 future regions Ash has to develop through. He can't become a master trainer in one. It's the reason why he sucks so hard, you know? And I don't think I've hidden the fact that Ash is a bad trainer. He's very lucky. He has his more brilliant moments, but he is not on the level of other trainers around. So, it's, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I think the tournament could have been a little bit longer. I probably should have done it in one video. I just didn't have the time from a posting schedule thing. It's also so many battles. It's just so long. You guys would have had to wait so long if I had to fucking do an entire tournament in one video. I don't think I should have crammed in Arbok at the end. I think I should have done a standalone episode. I think thematically, the way it turned out and the way it worked, I think it did very well. But I could have dedicated to its own episode like how Cubone was. Why was the whole tournament just one-on-ones? Because 6v6s or 3v3s are very long, and I had so many fucking battles to go through. What changes would I make if I go back? I would have given Ditto as Ash's starter, and the team would have been... So, Ditto would have been the starter. Here's the thing. I don't think that would have made my series successful, by the way. This is if I had free reign and didn't have to give a fuck. Ditto would have been the starter. Parasect for grass type. Let's see. I think I would have gone back and made Ninetales Arcanine or possibly Flareon. 3. I'm streaming. I got chicken nuggets. I think for water types, I would have done possibly a Slowbro. I think Slowbro would have been fun because with no Pikachu, I would have done Magneton. 3, 4, what's one more? And I wasn't sure about a 5th. But probably something fun, like maybe Ash's first catch is a Rattata and I get Eradicate. Something like that. If only Mega Arbok rumors were real, then who could have returned to Kalos? Yeah, that would have been fun. Are we gonna get some seconds where Ash shows he is not human and can run really fast and throw huge trees? Maybe. Place your bets on number 7. Yeah, now number 7 Pokemon. Who's my favorite Pokemon again? Skitty. I love Skitty. Followed closely by Surskit. And I also love Goliathspot. And Mega Mawile. I could see inside the Pokerab there would be a cool 1 to 2 minute segment at the end of the episode where Ash's Pokemon interact with a random wild Pokemon and have a fun cuddle time and hang out. Yeah, I would love to do... If I do, like, random meme moments with Ash's team just amongst themselves, I'd probably make them shorts. Tingle is the only Ash's Pokemon to be a dual type. I think it means single type. And also, it's not a dual type. No, because Golduck's there, and Ninetales is there. And Cubone's... No, I think you meant... No, you're misremembering Tangela. Are we seeing more Tangela in the next episode? Yes. In the finale of the entire series, Ash should go to battle with Scarlet Violet Trainer instead of Charizard as the credits roll. Nope, not a million years. Old Dog would never say, I don't care that it's Team Rocket Pokemon. He would say, it's Team Rocket Pokemon, so I won't use it. Yeah, exactly. I've changed a lot. I've evolved. A lot of my initial video things where I was like Samurott, or Ash's Oshawott works as a Duwat, but not a Samurott. Like, that's bullshit to me now. How big is Arbok compared to an Onix? It's definitely smaller than an Onix, but it's pretty big. Man, clip that out of context. If current ATR Paul faced a Palutena Trainers, how he would do? I think it would be a time match between him and Gary. I think he could... I think he can possibly lose to Green and Gary. I think he might tie them or might get the dub. It's a very... either-or situation. He would smoke Ash. Yeah, Joey should have beat Merrick, man. Guys, just remember the Pokemon the Dolly crossed out can still be the next team members he doesn't want to spoil. Exactly. Just because I crossed them off on this list doesn't mean they're not potentially the 7th or 8th team members. Like, there's an elephant in the room. There's a random drawn Pokemon that's been around, you know. I don't think it's, my show is very much, man, that rock is like, actually, interactable, not just a part of the background. Like, I think, by the way, but I will say this, not 7th team member. not the 7th team member right here, you know, but eventual team member. I mean, Ash has a Moonstone. It's been following him around. It's a drawn Pokemon, you know, that he hasn't caught yet. We are ready for the change of outfit of Ash. We become darker, and we are for the heal phase. Yeah, you're really taking my words of what I said and really running with them for what you think Callus is gonna be. Really like Arbok. I just wish it was stronger. You'll see that it's a strong Pokemon, I will say. Arbok wasn't really in the battling idea. Ash is also dumping on Arbok because he's in a bad mood. It's like normally Ash doesn't call his Pokemon like, oh, this guy's fucking useless. So like Arbok will be strong because that's a running theme with Ash's Kanto team is they are a naturally strong and powerful bunch, which helps Ash get through stuff. Like the reason why Arbok took a hit and went down is because he thought he was making friends with people. He didn't know he was in a fight. A lot of people thought it was going to be Rhyhorn. I considered it, but I had Cubone already for ground type coverage, and I was like, I don't want, like, there's so many rockin' ground types in Ash's traveling group. I don't need more. Make Giovanni a melody, someone over exaggerate. Make Giovanni like the Dawn of Godfather, basically. What if there's a slacking with Wonder Guard instead of Truant? It would be unstoppable. It was random, but the more it sits. It was random, but the more it sits me, I love Arbok. Look, yeah, we'll actually, you know what we'll do right now? We'll do a little this. Just for you guys to get a good visual representation of everything. Let's drag in everyone. We're going to do a nice little team lineup right here. Am I missing anyone? Golduck. So you guys can get a good visual idea of how... Come on. The OGs right here. I'm ignoring questions right now. This is how realistically I think size-wise these guys like line up. You know, it's very hard to do a proper lineup with these because like if Pikachu has to be a certain size on screen for him to visually maybe a tad smaller. Range these guys a little better. Here it is, guys. The Kanto team. Is Giselle going to get a full team? No, this will be, I think, her main squad till the end of Kanto. Do Gary and Green know about abilities? Yeah, they know everything that normal trainers are supposed to learn. Ash is just not... He is so behind the curve. Honestly, Ash seeing Ash catch a Venonat because it reminds him of his Beedrill? Yeah. No, good. If Green has more than 6 Pokemon, why does she only have 5 on hand? Maybe a mistake on my end, but more of like she has one at the ranch. Do you worry about how fast or long Ash catches Pokemon for future battles? I do. I mean, I keep it in mind. Like, if I catch a Pokemon, I want to show them off in the next episode so you can get a better read of their personality. But also, like, you know... I don't know the way to put it. There's just a certain vibe I gotta do for it. If Skitty's my favorite, why am I a polyroll? Because my original avatar was a blue slime guy with a box on his head before I made it more close. Like, I made my channel more Pokemon themed. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, so it was more, so I wanted to match closer to that original slime guy, so the rebrand wouldn't be a full-on weird change, you know? And so Poliwag got decided on, and I evolved it to Poliwhirl. So is Arbok an alpha Pokemon confirmed? I think you could consider him an alpha Pokemon. I mean, in my mind, he's just a big Arbok. Too bad Arbok can't learn Poison Tail in any generation except through breeding. I mean, I could still give it Poison Tail if I want to, and I probably will. When we get to the generation where I can get it through breeding. It could be anyone. Yeah, I'm so behind in the chat. What ability does Arbok have? Intimidate. There's a theory that Kazuki Takahashi wanted Joey to win Battle City, but wasn't allowed because of the direction the anime manga went. I get it. I think to have Joey... Like, here's the thing. I personally would love to see Joey win Battle City. On the other hand, the way the story was made to that point, it wouldn't make sense for him. You know, we want him to, but you would have to rewrite a lot of stuff. If Ash's design is going to change in Johto, will the other characters? If possibly, you know, we'll see. Misodi, that's a based pick. I like the Relicanth pick. Arbok is just an introvert? No, he's an extrovert with no social skills. He is not an introvert, because introverts don't want to be around people. Arbok craves being around people. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, Golduck might have had the best luck, but also, you know, he will have better times. It's just kind of like, it's kind of the problem where it's just like, hey, he's still adapting to his new form. Ash is still adapting to a Golduck. Like, this was his first battle with Golduck. So, you know, you'll see them improve. What if the members felt a bit hurt by Ash's words in movie 20? Possibly. I don't remember movie 20 or what Ash said there. Is Team Rocket still Yakuza in the series? Yeah, no, Team Rocket is still Team Rocket. They steal money. They steal money in Pokemon. They sell them, trafficking, all that stuff. Trafficking Pokemon, I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if I can arrange this properly. I need OBS open. No, it's perfectly arranged. Hidden Jigglypuff. What do you use to edit your videos? I use After Effects. I'm an After Effects editor in my professional career actual world, so I translate that to my videos. Lost my place. You guys are so fantastic, and I'm getting so many questions, and we're up to 70 viewers. Man, who would have thought that I would get more viewers if I post my episodes more frequently? That's insane. If I would change one thing about each original animal, or I think anime, what would I change? I would make Ash a kind of slightly more competent trainer in Kanto, to the point where, like, him losing, you know, like, it feels like he actually had an honest run, or maybe he learns a lesson from his Kanto loss. Johto, just focus on the Johto team and evolve them. Just do that. Hoenn, have a rival there for Ash to actually compete against, so the series matters a lot more. Hoenn's great, but it just doesn't have, like, anything in there. Sinnoh, I would not use Gible. Well, that counts as changing Pokemon. I would give the other team members power-ups or times to shine, so it's not just the Infernape. So Unova, just evolve Pokemon. That's fine. That's all you need to do. I don't know if that counts as changing Pokemon, but I wouldn't get rid of any of those Pokemon or add new ones, just evolve this Pokemon. Kalos, erase it from existence. Alola's perfect, and Journeys doesn't need to exist either. Now, I know you hate Serena. Can you explain why you hate Miette and go on a rant about it? If you had to choose who you hate more, Serena or Miette, would say no more. I hate Serena. We've heard me rant about Serena. I barely know who the fuck Miette is. I don't give a fuck about Miette. I'd like to hate her. I actually have to know she exists. I barely fucking pay attention to it. Like, oh yeah, random rival to Serena B, I think she is. Yeah, fuck Miette. But whenever a new episode drops, it brightens up my day. This series is so awesome. I'm glad you're liking it. You know, Giselle needs a Persian to be able to take over after Uncle Giovanni. You know, man, are you guys reading my notes? You know that Giselle's related to Giovanni? What's your nugget dipping sauce of choice? I like Chick-fil-A sauce, or I like ketchup for specifically my Chick-fil-A nuggets. In Johto, will we see Ash use a different type of Pokeball to catch a Pokemon? Yeah, okay, I'll get a little spoiler. I want Ash's Johto team to each be in a different type of Kurt Apricorn ball. I think that would be fun. Are Giselle and Brock going to be in Orange Islands in Johto, or are there going to be new pages? We'll see. We'll see. I'm still figuring that out. Isn't bad. I'm starting to think if I wanted a motherly Levani or if I wanted a very expectant Coles feed for my OC. No. I mean, like, I think coin flip that, or just compare them to the rest of the other team. Will we ever see a double battle in Gen 3? The vibes have been great. I got the episode done so my brain can relax and I can spend the rest of the day doing, like, anything but focusing on this series, and then tomorrow it's back to writing. Why is Arbok so big? He eats his Wheaties, you know? Guys, eat your proper nutrition, and you can grow big and strong like Arbok and me. I look very small on this camera. I'm trying to hit the gym more. How strong is Richie compared to the Palatine trainers? I'd say he's weaker than Ash because Ash has just naturally stronger Pokemon. And he's definitely weaker than Gary and Green. He is an average trainer. He is the baseline. Like, Ash as a trainer is below Richie. Ash's team is above Richie. What does a Safari Zone feed Arbok? Other Pokemon. Yeah, Ash's team was only there. Look, Ash wasn't competing in the tournament for anything other than vibes. That's why he didn't switch his Pokemon, okay? Like, he was playing Widowmaker, and he should have switched because he wasn't doing well. But he was there for the vibes, guys, not the prize Pokemon. Is Ash going to get in trouble for sticking to the Safari Zone? We'll see. If Ash should have a Duskull in Hoenn, do you think it should have the Brook Hat or the Sans jacket? I think I would have to go to the Brook Hat. I like Sans. I like Sans as a character. I don't like Undertale or its fandom. So I would not want to attract the Undertale fans to my series with the Brook. Though I would probably I would either have it do the Brook laugh or I would have it do the Sans eye thing. I don't know. It would be a thing. Does Ash having Surfetch take Kanto Farfetch'd off the table? Not at all. It's they're two very different Pokemon, despite being. It's like the best way to look at it is like it's like saying Ash can't get a Alolan Ninetales because he has Ninetales. They're both Ninetales, yes, but like that's an Ice Ninetales versus a Fire Ninetales. Very different. Ninetales has had a little bit of a perception change after Ash in the tournament. You know, he's been working with her a lot. And so she kind of got a new glimpse into what battles can be, through this tournament and through like the cheer of the crowd where she didn't feel like constrained or like in danger. So it was very interesting for her. You're not even hiding it at this point. I never was. What is the gender of... I don't even know what you're talking about, actually. What is the gender of Ash's Pokemon other than Pikachu being a guy? I'm pretty sure... Yeah, so... Golduck is a guy, Pikachu's a guy, Tangela is a guy, Arbok's a guy, Cubone's a girl, and Ninetales is a girl. Jigglypuff is just spying on Ash. You know, that's what she's doing right now. If you made an ATR version of the movie I Choose You, what will be the 3 Pokemon you give him, and what some of their backstories change? That's a long question. I gotta get through the rest of these questions before I go on something like that. Will Arbok get at least 1 head pat in the Kanto season? He will get more than 1. Arbok deserves all the head pats. Do Ash's Mons have a favorite food? Yes. Tangela likes sunlight. Cubone likes beer. Pikachu, well, she doesn't drink beer. She wants to drink beer or coffee, but the taste doesn't agree with her, so she likes juice. But she puts like a beer label on it. Pikachu likes ketchup. Golduck. he's not that picky. He doesn't really have a favorite. He's just kind of like there for the vibes. Ninetales meet Arbok meet. Will we see some segments where Ash shows how he is not? I already answered that. No. Basically, Ash would be more like I Choose You counterpart when you say make him more competent, Hoenn. Yeah, I would assume so. I haven't seen I Choose You because I know Pikachu talks at the end, and I don't want to fucking see that. Does Arbok set the standard for other Ash Pokemon have adapted to the environment like Arbok? Yeah, 100%. Like, I want to show off different little things of Pokemon where it's like they are animals that, like, different environments can have different effects on Pokemon. It will never be a radical change. It will never be like a, you know, like, Arbok's actually a grass type now because it lives in the forest. It's more of a, it's more along the lines of, like, different, maybe, like, patterns on them, or different, it's sort of like the pink Pokemon, how they all are pink because they ate the berries. It doesn't mean there's anything different about them from pink Rhyhorn versus regular Rhyhorn, no difference. But it's just the food consumption. Stuff like that is what I'm introducing, on accident. I'm a bit late, but I want to know why some Pokemon have 5 moves in the intro. Also, why Arbok? Arbok, because it was the one that fit the most on the team. I had a really good personality for him. I'm being this kind of softy, but he's very intimidating at first glance. Why 5 moves? Because I do a 6-move limit to let me be more creative with the moves I give Pokemon. I'm going to up it to 8 moves for Johto, and beyond. But it's really just so I can have different moves where it's not just Pikachu can do Quick Attack and it can do Thunderbolt, even though right now all it can do is Quick Attack and Thunderbolt. Just Tri-Beam the cows. Exactly. Alola stands unite. Yes. How different will Orange Islands be compared to the anime? Fairly different, because Ash has different traveling companions than in the anime, so that will have a different things. But Ash will still be doing the challenges and stuff, so it will be different because he has different Pokemon. Oh, that's who she is? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Miette. She's a Kalos person. I don't give a fuck about anyone from Kalos except for Sawyer, who's great. Everyone else can, you know, fucking, you know, get Z moved by Zygarde. Who will face Leon who will Leon face since Ash will not face him, because I really think Ash should still face Leon because it would be a robbery if Ash versus Leon doesn't happen, and who's going to... That's a lot of questions for a lot of future stuff that I'm not going to answer. What is the main problem with each of your ATR trainers? Like, what brings them down? Like, Ash not training and being cocky. Brock's too passive. That's his biggest thing. He really should be forcing Ash to train and kind of teaching him what he needs to know and what he's slacking on, but he's too passive in letting Ash experience the journey on his own. Giselle, a little bit... Giselle and Gary kind of share a trait where they're overthinkers. Well, you know, Giselle's a lesser so. Gary's a huge overthinker. And so that can have a paralyzing effect in certain situations where he's unprepared. Or when like something is so in his face that he doesn't know how to react in time that he goes through all the situations to the point where it's a detriment. Green does not think too far ahead other than Smash. A lot of her Pokemon, even if they have moves like Teleport or something or Ice Beam, like her strategy is always Smash. You know, like get on top of Venomoth and just smash it into the ground with Thunderbolt. It's not like I'm gonna dodge, do this. It is like very very direct. Richie, he's clumsy. He doesn't really have like a direct weakness like that. Are Steel, Dark, and Fairy types known to other people, or have they yet to be discovered? They're known. This is a living, breathing world where it's like, while we are doing a Gen 1 focus, you see seeds of Gen 2, like, if you saw, like, we're at Gen 1. Let's say you passed a poster of, like, a Unova movie. Like, that's a possibility, you know? Unova still exists. The other regions still exist in this world, you know? Like, Mina has a Alolan Pokemon on her team. She just didn't use them. I'm cold. So, like, while we do focus and I try and keep everything constrained to Gen 1, you know, for the most part, it is a world that is alive, you know? Like, everything in the future gens still exists now. How would Ninetales feel meeting her ice cousin? She'd hate her, because it's too cold and she likes it when it's hot. Do I consider Mr. Mime and Ashmon? Yeah, I think I would. I feel like if I really truly in my heart of hearts wanted Ash to have a Mr. Mime, I could do it. But at the end of the day, if I'm not that strongly about a Mr. Mime I've created for Ash, I think I would count it as an Ash Pokemon. Jigglypuff's gender, Jigglypuff's a guy. What if Ash had Bayonet and then Bayonet wasn't all that? May throw it away and Bayonet wants revenge? Possibly. What would ATR Ash's favorite Pokemon, favorite anime? What is favorite Pokemon anime? He'd like Gen 4. Or yeah, he probably like Gen 4. Are we going to get sprites for Pokemon Ash doesn't catch? No, usually if they are drawn by me, they are going to be an Ash Pokemon. Otherwise, so fun fact, I actually did draw the these Hitmonlee. So Hitmonchan, this is its only Dreamworld art. So using other references, I made these two in the Dreamworld style. So I had to make these by hand. So I'll do stuff like that if I need other poses. But if it's like a drawn in my style with like these guys, it's an Ashmon. Will Tracy accompany Ash to Johto? Maybe. Are we gonna, was I the only one who was waiting for Goku to solo the tournament? You know what, Misoji? It was on the planning board. I just forgot to do it. What would Ninetales and Arbok talk, about who is their favorite Pokemon and how they lived in the wild? Or would they? Possibly, once they're more cordial and they're nicer to each, you know, Ninetales has warmed up the team more. I could see that happening. Ash will have to do something to make Arbok feel confident, like some sort of non-battle item he could have. Possibly. We'll see a lot more of Arbok and how he truly is with the team once we get to it. What animal that isn't a Pokemon yet do you think should get that treatment? Oh, what animal? A lot of animals have been covered. I don't know. Because a lot of the animals, like, I think of like a salamander or like a fennec fox or something, you know, have already been done. Now I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, Pikachu could realistically have Volt Tackle and Electro Web in my series because I have 8 move slots in the future running forward. What are some of Arbok's moves? You know what? Well, I have not built Arbok's moveset yet, but we can get a glimpse of moves that I would definitely give him because it's not going to be a secret. You're going to see at the premiere of the next episode his entire move list because he does have 6 moves. Where's Arbok? Guys, I'm blind. I can't see. There it is. I think 3 moves, I think, or 4 moves I know Arbok has is Poison Sting, Wrap, Bite, Glare, and Acid. That's 5 moves. And then maybe I give it Dig, or maybe I give it like Hyper Beam or something. Or Substitute, or Mimic, or something fun on this list. Why do I like Sawyer? I think he's a well-developed rival. I think him and Ash had the best battle of the Kalos League. So, I think he does well. I don't think Brock should have traveled with Ash for as many regions as they did. I think, like, you know, like, they could have gotten rid of Brock, because Brock really does nothing for the most part, other than be, like, Team Mom and just cook and help heal Pokemon sometimes. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of canon Ash Pokemon that I wish I could have gotten on his team. You know, it's funny, Dragonite was one of them. I really wish I could give Ash a Dragonite if I wanted to. You know, maybe I wouldn't. I'm not sure if I would do it, but I want the option. Let's see, go over this list. Tauros I would use. Muck, Donphan, Ralligator, Crawdon, Glalie, Gliscor, big one, Scraggy, Crocodile if I wanted to, Halucha, Noivern. I would love to make Noivern actually good. Lycanroc and Melmetal, a big 2. Primeape as well. So those are some of the options I wish I could use. We're going back down. I'm tired of standing. There we go. Yeah. I mean, Clement from the wasn't that bad. He was my favorite from what I remember, though. I did watch X when I was younger. I love the gag of his vegetable. Clement's okay. I have no strong feelings towards Clement. What I got left from removing Kanto Monster Trash Team: Raticate, Furo, Persian, Dugtrio, Venomoth, Parasect, Vileplume, Ditto, Evolutions, Fossils, Ligatite, Porygon. Yeah, I think that's the list. Yeah, Tracy is harmless. Tracy does not do anything bad to warrant hate. Like, you can not prefer Tracy, but truly, he does nothing wrong. I actually really like Tracy. If the ATR trainers include Ash / Red and watch Marvel and DC, what would their favorite characters from each series be? Gary definitely is a Batman fan. I'm trying to think of mainstays. Gary likes Batman and Iron Man. Green likes Hulk. And she likes Thor as well. For DC, Flash. No. Ash would like Flash. For Green DC, that's a hard one. Maybe like Superman. I think she'd find Aquaman a lot of fun. She would probably get arguments like, no, he is useful outside the water too, guys. And it's like, no water. Aquaman's useless. She would definitely like the Justice League Unlimited version of Aquaman. And Ash for Marvel. That's a hard one. I think he'd like comic version of Hawkeye. Could Ash have a Gigalith? Yeah, no, because I considered a lot of Ash having the idea of using evolutions of Pokemon Ash caught, but I feel like that opens up a can of worms I don't want to deal with. Will we have more episodes exploring the Pokemon dynamics with each other? Yeah, 100%. I think this will be a good episode for it. I think next episode will probably be when we do that. Max will acknowledge Ash when we get to home, but sadly Max will still disrespect Ash about how he loves, but luckily Ash is slowly going full villain mode, or so he kicks Max. Cadnu, you are really missing with all your takes, dude. I swear. It makes so much sense. I'm glad King Bonsai. You guys are very receptive to Arbok. I think his personality helps that a lot, but I'm hoping next episode to show you guys off why Arbok is a good fit for the team. So, you guys are always receptive of my choices. So, I'm glad. Yeah, Arbok, that's the reason I didn't use Scyther Soji, because Scyther's moveset just sucks ass. Like, it just doesn't get any, I almost typed in Masoji instead of Scyther into... Like, here, guys, I really wanted to use... I considered Scyther. But, like, in Gen 1, it's like, okay, Quick Attack, Double Team... Well, Ninetales already uses Double Team, so we don't really need that. Quick Attack Pichu is already, like, a speedster like that. I mean, it can still have Quick Attack. Slash, okay, that's its main attack. Same with Wing Attack. Okay, but it's like, other moves, it's like, I could do Cut, which is Slash. Hyper Beam, I guess. Skull Bash is already taken. Swift, Like, there's nothing to give it. It's useless in Gen 1. Honestly, I think Pokemon know more than 4 moves, but now they would go everyone since they have dodge attacks. Yeah, I just use, I like, in my perfect world, I would have an unlimited number of moves that they could learn over time. And maybe, like, mix and mash techniques, like I showed off with Gary, how he mixed, Rapid Spin, despite being a Gen 2 move. I saw that. A little mess up on my part, but I don't really care that hard. It's mostly, the rule's mostly for Ash's Pokemon more than anything. But how he combined Rapid Spin and Surf to create that tornado of water. By the way, not a Z move. I know I called it a Hydro Vortex, but that was literally me just being like, it is water tornado, a Hydro Vortex. I don't know who would replace Brock and Hoenn and Sinnoh in the anime. I wouldn't say who now because I might use them. But if I do replace Brock for Hoenn and Sinnoh, but we'll see. Do I ever look at a Pokemon's stats to determine personalities and our fighting styles or at the design? I'll generally glance at moves just to see if they have enough that I can make them interesting for a battle perspective. But stat-wise really mean nothing to me. They fight how they fight. Like, obviously, I'll lean more into something like, I'm not going to make, like, a Rhyperior, a Speedster, stuff obviously like that. But, like, how a Pokemon looks doesn't generally go for personality for me, because Cubone like is perceived as a, like a crybaby Pokemon. I made it a tough girl, you know. Golduck is seen as a fairly competent Pokemon. It has a number of personalities it could have, but I made it still the dullard, you know, Psyduck. It used to be still, but with just more. Definitely Durant could have worked for an Ash Pokemon. How would you handle legendaries? Like, are they worshipped like God? Their legendaries in my world are the equivalent of gods. If you want like a much more like idea of how I'm going to probably go into legendaries, check out my legendary lore series, specifically legendary birds. I'm not a fan of the beasts of it, just how I presented that video, you know. The legendary birds though were good. Yeah, Ash could get maybe a Lolamuck or a Galarian. I mean, he never had a Darmanitan before, so Galarian Darmanitan's still on the table if I go that far. Yeah, Ash is gonna have 8 Mons before the league. Will Ash get regional forms? If they fit freely a team, I'm not really thinking with a lot of this stuff of like Ash needs one of these. It's more of just like if the option comes up and they are fun for the team. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, if a Pokemon fits the team, it fits the team. I don't really think too much about like even too much type coverage or something or stuff like that, you know? I'm giving him a well-rounded team in Kanto because I feel like that's important for his first team, but the others could have like more than like it could have like if it was say it's a Kanto team, it could have Vileplume and Tangela and Parasect if I wanted it to. Have you decided Ditto for had I decided Ditto for ATR, what would we have done with it? It would have been a little bit of a prankster, a little bit of a guy who likes to mock people, kind of gets his comeuppance though, and a copycat, you know, kind of very Ditto-like. Or he would have been very lazy, you know, like, you know, Ash would definitely have to strategize a lot with Ditto because it can only transform into what it sees, so he'd have to really pick his battles. Have I picked the last Ash Mons? Yeah, I already know who they are. I still wait to Gen 2 and give us a... Yeah, my Gen 2 team's pretty locked. Who sees if Scizor is on there or not? Yeah, Beedrill worked, but it's like he worked because I was able to take him as far as he did. And like cut him off where I did, you know. What region was hardest and easiest to rewrite? Off the top of my head, I imagine Unova was easy due to the amount of Pokemon. Kalos and Lola were the hardest. Yeah, Kalos and Lola were definitely the hardest. Kalos was definitely the hardest before ZA. Alola very hard. Unova definitely the easiest because of the amount of Pokemon. The more I look at them, they look great together. World's most random family. Yeah, no, they're a good-looking bunch together. Now I'm ready for Ash to pull a gun in Kalos just so he can win the league. Another mistake. I think if you have Gen 2's Pokemon appearing, then Gen 2 moves should be on the table. Nah, I'm going to save that for Gen 2. Seth's moveset does get better in future gens. Oh, yeah, of course. It gets a lot better in Gen 2. It's really not about even the moves. Like, I could make cut or slash work on Scyther. It's just the diversity of the moves. Like, having something with even having, like, if it had, like, Razor Wind or something, that'd be something else to give it a little bit of a range attack. Just so it's not just like, okay, what can Scyther do in this battle? It's going to be quick and slash at opponents, and that's it. Like, it's got nothing else. Yeah, no, there are a lot of normal types. Yeah, Arbok and Ash's Muck have a little bit of an overlap in their character concepts. Arbok is very different in his approach because he's a lot more emotional. Muck just kind of glomps people. Green would find it awesome. Gary would find it, like, he would be thinking about how he's supposed to beat it until he sees his personality and be like, it might not be as big a threat as I think. Well, I do the same as the original series. As Ash brings his Kantomon Johto, we reset the team. I'll probably reset the team. I want to give the Johto Pokemon time to shine. Of legitimate reasons, Ash leaves this Pokemon at the ranch row. See you later, Super. Oh, yeah, I'm 100% good at stealing an ace Pokemon or... like, there's some Pokemon I won't touch. Like, I won't touch Electivire because I associate it with Paul so much. You know, but Ash had a Torterra and so did Paul, so it's like, you can't double up on certain Pokemon like that. Like, Ash had a Gible despite Cynthia having a Garchomp. Like, I'm not afraid to mix things up. Yeah, ZA Megas are on the table for Kalos. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't have those available to me. Can we get an ATR playthrough of Pokemon Yellow Legacy for Swiss Plays? 100%. Well, that'll be the game I play through with Ash's original team. I think that'll be a good choice. I love Smith Plays Pokemon's videos and his games. I actually have one of his videos queued up because he posted something today. You really cooked hard with a bunch of weirdos that Ash team. I really love your goobers. Thank you. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying the goobers. They're an oddball bunch, but they've come together in a great way. Good looking team. When will the next episode be? Ideally 2 weeks. Ideally 2 weeks. I'm able to write and edit it in 2 weeks. If I can't, then at maximum 3 weeks. I'm trying not to take a month to post everything. So, like, this video took me 3 weeks to make, despite having the script already written. And that's just because it was 17 minutes of content. I had to cram a lot of action into it. Episodes, I think, should be easier to get out, especially if it's just like a gym battle episode, because it will be like, you know, well, it won't be like a 1v1, but it's one battle versus, like, I have to do 3, like, you know, I had to do so many battles for this episode. And you notice a lot of them were shorter just because they don't matter. So, like, next episode should hopefully take me a short amount of time. I gotta figure out what I'm doing for that episode, but I think it will be a fun one, regardless. Which Pokemon intro in the show is your favorite? Ooh, I think Master Quest. I think Master Quest might be my favorite. Any of the Hoenn anime ones. Battle Frontier was my, favorite overall when I was a kid. I loved the Battle Frontier theme. It was just like an earworm. Pokemon Johto, though. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. You made the best choice for the last one, Dig the Big Coward. Yeah, no, I think Dig would actually be a fitting move on him because, like, you know, because it's really, for me, like, it's really about, like, before I give Dig or not, well, I could give it regardless, but, like, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, how does he fight? Like, what is Arbok like in a battle? Because it's like, like, I don't think Coward is almost, I said Coward earlier, I don't think Coward's the right word to describe him. He's just a softie, you know? I get Charizard sticking around for the Valley, but Bulbasaur and Squirtle should have gone out of there ASAP. The Johto crew need more attention. Also, Cynical should have evolved at Jasmine Gym. Cynical had like 7 moments it should have evolved. Jasmine's Gym versus Skarmory. You could do it against Price. Like, Cynical had so much. There was literally an episode before the league, or like while Ash is like, has all his badges and heading towards the league, where he thinks like, oh, fuck, I need to train, because he sees a trainer in his Quilava, and Cynical is a focus of that episode. Why does it not evolve then? Why does it not evolve then? Pokemon, tell me why. Ash really doesn't own any rodent Pokemon outside of Pikachu? Yeah, I guess not. Kind of interesting. You should do a poll with a bunch of different ideas for the next episode. I don't leave stuff up for viewers for episode rights. You know, that's too far, you know. I love you guys, but you're not writing my series. How much of the original anime do you use as a basis for my new story? In the future, I'll like some stuff, not all. Kanto's a fucking an acid trip because they were on drugs when they created this series, literally. Like that, I think that's a confirmed fact. So there's not really much I can take from the Kanto episodes. But I'm gonna search it for ideas. Like, future gens, I will definitely probably incorporate some of the stuff in there, but, like, you know, like the Paul rivalry, for example. Like, certain moments that were important to Ash and Paul in the Sinnoh anime, I'll probably steal from. But, like, overall, you know, it's saying, for seasons, I mean, I accumulate, like, I don't even do, like, Battle Dimensions specifically or something. It's a tie between Sinnoh and Hoenn, and, you know, I always go back and forth on those, because, like, the contests and the rivalries more in Sinnoh, but Hoenn holds a big nostalgia for me, and it's just a solid one. If I had to do this tournament again, what would I change? I don't know. Maybe if I had more time to expand upon the battles or like think about things a bit more. Maybe like there's not really much I would change because it's Ash's first tournament, so it's kind of do that. How does Golduck feel about the loss? It doesn't feel too bad. It was a strong fight. It's not like he lost against like a Oddish or something, you know. It was like a hard loss, but also he's still learning everything about being a Golduck. Will Ash's voice change dramatically when I get to Hoenn? Only if mine does. Any plans for future Pokemon being caught in other Pokeballs and regular? In Johto, I want to do Apricorn Balls for everyone. I'm not going to use Southern Kalos because people have this obsession with Southern. I know a guy who was obsessed with Southern Kalos and he was always weird. But like Southern Kalos is just more Kalos. I don't know what much I could do with it. Yeah, no, I actually have Nate Wants to Battle's cover of Black and White, the Black and White opening on my playlist. It's a good one. Kalos was written by a 12-year-old Naruto fan. Exactly. Mega Dragonite and Z-Megas are off limits in Kalos. They are canonically discovered shortly before Z8. Man, it's almost like I could write that they exist. It's like I have that power as the writer of this series. What is this newfound knowledge I'm dropping? Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want. The rules are mine to command. People say I can't use Earthquake because the anime banned it, and I still fucking use that shit because I have a cool After Effects shake effect. I quickly... now, thanks to you, I quickly Googled Pokemon anime production drugs. Nice. Always happy to help with that search history. I'm such a dick to you guys sometimes, man. If you had to choose a new star other than Pikachu, who would you choose? Porygon or Ditto is what I'd go with. Ditto, because it can literally become anything, and so it's very easy to have its power be limited. Porygon, because it's a disc-based evolution system, so I can keep it a Porygon as long as I want, you know? I noticed in the few re-rates that most anime rates kind of just write the game so the Ash has the MC and maybe some off-filler that people generally like. Yeah, you know, I try and go above and beyond. You know, I try and do some different stuff. Oh, Arbok Arbok was never officially like locked until this episode, but it was something I experimented with. Burping. Since the Ninetales episode, not Ninetales. I think probably around when Golduck evolved or before that. You know, the one guy with league quizzes where either he was just a guy pretending to work for the league or he hired by the league to screw with people. Exactly. Yeah, no, I want to give all the Johto Pokemon, they're all going to be in Apricorn Balls. I think that'd be fun. What version of Ash in the anime is ATR Ash weaker than? I mean, probably a low... I mean, he's weaker than, like, I think Hoenn and up he's weaker than. And just because his Pokemon are weaker, and he's not as good a trainer. So I think everyone Hoenn and up could beat Ash. Will Misty and Brock as a cameo have their Gen 2, Gen 4 Johto designs? Yeah, if they ever come back, I would definitely upgrade their designs. Would Arceus bow to you because you have the power of his writing? Yeah, 100%. I am Arceus. Will Arbok fight like Koga's and Agatha's in the Adventures manga or have his own unique battle style? I would say maybe a little closer to those. I'm rereading the Pokemon Adventures manga. I just started today. So I really want to go into there and get an idea because there's only so much I can show for a battle on this, but I will definitely take inspiration from them. We don't do shortcuts to the Pokemon League or the top. Exactly. Do you know about the battle for Dream Island? No. If Gary still gets 10 badges, would use a friend cameo as one of the gym leaders? No, because I've used all my the friends I would put in this game or in my series. They were all in the tournament, like my main group of friends. Shout out to the Hive. You know, what about the Pokemon Johto region arc? Yeah, I'm gonna do something with that. Like, I'm gonna actually give him an arc there. By the way, do you watch the anime Fate? No, I haven't tried because it looks confusing. There's too many Fate series for me to actually properly pick a place to start. I have been watching You and I Are Polar Opposites on Crunchyroll. I really like that romance anime. They're very cute. And Freeren, of course, because Freeren's great. I know I've struggled with the idea of that, like using the full game story as a basis, which means a lot of fighting evil teams, but I'm not sure. I'm an amateur, but I still want to try. It's not a bad place to start. The reason I don't do it is because I have to develop Ash over so many regions, you know? And also, he's just a kid who's trying to be a Pokemon master right now. Like, he's not, like, this active crime fighter, you know? Like, it doesn't mean I won't use, like, evil team situations in, like, Johto and beyond to throw Ash in them, but he's not searching them. So it's not a bad way of going about it. I think I'm going to take a lot of inspiration from the Johto games and Heart Gold Soul Silver for my plots for Johto, you know? How do you think of Kanto ATR and Johto ATR teams react to each other? I think they would get along. By the end, once everyone's arcs and Kanto's wrapped up, I think they'd get along very well with the Johto team. The Johto team would really like them as well. I mean, Espeon is on the table for Johto, but I don't know if it's going to be in Johto. Would evil team villains die in ATR like leaders? If I did, it would be much later and it wouldn't be as direct as you think, maybe. It's not like a Ash murders a man kind of thing, you know? I like the twist you have of Sabrina not being used at the time, but saving her for later. Very smart. Yeah, well, it was to give Ash a gym loss other than Surge. I think Ash deserved to lose at Sabrina, and it showed he still had a lot of growing to do. I think my favorite ATR Mon personality so far, I think it is Cubone or Golduck. I really like the little arc I gave Golduck. I was really proud of how that turned out. He had a lot of cool moments. Cubone is just fun overall. She's just a fun character. You know, the what if you do us posting your ROCs so you use them in place of filler? Maybe. You're an anime guy. You tried JJK? I tried JJK, but I just couldn't get too far into it. You know, I like Yuta. I think he's really cool. And but here's the thing: I started the series as a Megami fan, and then I realized what happens to Megami. I don't like Tojo, or not Tojo. Who's the fucking clap guy? Who's Boogie Woogie? Todo. That's his name, Todo. I don't fucking like that guy. I remember I didn't get so far into it. When he showed up, I'm like, this guy's an asshole. Why do people like this guy? You know? And I wasn't that interested. You know? I got tired of every 5 seconds someone saying, this guy's strong, but not as strong as Gojo. Like, I'm just like, I get it. Gojo's strong. Shut the fuck up. That's not to say JJK is bad. It just didn't appeal to me in that way. Tobias is the biggest is your name Real Purple based on Gojo's technique? I just saw that. I know I have future knowledge of JJK, by the way. I just don't really I didn't get that far into watching it, but I know a bunch of stuff. Will the recent Tangela followed Ash be revealed soon? Yeah, no, we'll have an episode that reveals it. I mean, not soon, but before the end of the series. Could I replace Brock with Barry or Conway? Possibly. Probably more JoJo references. If I have a Pokemon that's inspired by JoJo, I'll probably do it. What about Red, Blue, and Green arc? Possibly. I don't know. What Pokemon would Gary, Green, or even Paul? What Ash Pokemon would Gary, Green, call Ash? I mean, I think if I'm gonna think Kanto's team for Ash's original Kanto team in the anime. If you're talking about here, Paul would get Golduck. No, not Paul. Sorry, Gary would get Golduck. Green would get Cubone. I think Paul would get he would get Arbok, or Pikachu. And for the original thing, I think I can't think that far. My brain's a little fried. We've been going a while. Can I replace Trip with Hugh? No, I'm not gonna do that. I think there's potential for Trip. I think Trip's decent. I think he's a fun rival that we can make good or better. I saw some people asking, by the way, to replace Iris with Hilda, and I still never get that. Is it because is it because people are gooners? Is it because they're like, oh, because Hilda's just a blank fucking slate of a character. Iris at least has stuff going for her. That's what's funny. It's I never understand the Iris Hilda replacement. Is it because gooners like Hilda's design? Yeah, Megabee, man. I was a really big Megabee fan when it started, and then I remembered all the memes and what's gonna happen. I was like, oh, so he's gonna get nothing. Great. Oh yeah, I read Catcher in the Rye, and then I was like, kill John Lennon. Are you guys old enough to get that reference? Or do I just sound like a psychopath? I never know. I always think you guys are either young or like in some of your cases, I know I have like some like out of United States fans. So, you know, like I never understand if people will get my references. It's why I don't make a Discord, because I know I have a lot of, I assume a lot of you guys are young, and that's a recipe for disaster. But I did open the community tab. I don't know what that will do, but I think you guys can post in there. So if you have questions you want answered, you know, I can always answer some stuff in there when I'm in between episodes. What would your Pokemon be if I got to choose? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think for me, if we're going Kanto, if I had to pick a starter, I would go Venusaur. I'd go Wigglytuff. I think I would go... I would get Magmar, Jinx, and Electabuzz. And then for my last choice, I'd go Porygon. No, I would go not Porygon. I would go Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan. I think that'd be a fun team. Xanolith replaced Iris with Hilda, so they want to copy him. I'm gonna screenshot that and send it to Xanolith. No, Xano's my friend, so that's gonna be funny. I'd be like, Xano, you're the reason why. We established that Tobias will have an actual team instead of being an exploiter, but we always see him throughout the Synergy. Tobias will definitely be a character that will be, yeah, oh, interesting, by the way, Real Purple. I was curious. I was just like, is that a reference to Hollow Purple? So that's funny. But Tobias will definitely be a very relevant character who will have an actual team of non-legendary Pokemon. You guys will get a feel, once we get to the Legendary Birds movie and Lugia movie, you will get a feel for how I'm writing legendaries, and it will quickly become apparent no one's using legendaries. Will we see Dust Form Lycanroc even though Ash wouldn't have him, and will it be Kukui's? That's a great way of doing that, Pedro. Of having Kukui have the Alolan, or not Alolan, the Dust Form Lycanroc if I want to show it off. So yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. Iris will work better as a rival? I don't think so. I mean, she can be a rival, but really helps. But no, people don't like Anime Iris until Journeys. In fact, people want to use female game predators being in the anime. Yeah, that probably makes sense. But no, but Skyfish, Hilda doesn't have... Well, Ash is being a kid in that series. Also, it's not as apparent as people say. I've watched some of Unova now, and it's not as much as people think. You know, people just take Eddie, like... It's like people exaggerate Max of how annoying he is and stuff. And I watched Hoenn. It's on Pokemon TV for those curious. And I watched Hoenn and I was like, Max is not that annoying. Like, he's just like a kid. Iris, like, you know, Ash is being a kid, you know, and like, also, Hilda's not friendlier. She's not a character. She has no personality. Like, if people say she has a friendlier behavior, it's because you wrote it that way. Did Ash catch a shiny Arbok? No, it's just a differently colored one. Silent is underrated and deserves to be at least be a rival to Ash and Unova, not a traveling companion. Possibly, but Silent is underrated. He is a good guy. I think it's design people hating Iris for calling Ash a kid all the time. Yeah, they're fine with Misty giving Ash a hard time when she took a chill pill when Togepi came around. Yeah, and then she stopped doing anything. You know, at least Iris has stuff going on. Almost 30, dude, 23. Damn, you guys are older than I thought. I think Brock, if like Brock started from his trainer career, he would be like the first Elite Four member. God damn, you guys are all older than I thought. Still young compared to me. See, my Unova companion picks would be Sharon, Bianca, and Hugh. Basically meld the talents B1 and B2. I think I'm going to do some of that. Like, not companions-wise, but I mean, like, I will meld some of Black and White too, because I'm not going to... That's a time skip, so I'm going to meld some of that in here. I'm the only Unk here. I'm 27. Jeez. Is Pikachu evolving off the table? Nope. So making a Texas theme team. Nice. Shout out to Texas. So far, only 3 months for Cowboy Western. Mexico, everything is bigger in Texas. Nice. I like that. I should make a Florida theme. Shout out to Florida. OG. I forget you're doing this. Sorry, I'm here now, but I have a lot of things to talk about. I'll be back. I just need to go. No, you're good. Don't worry. Someone said that Ashley Durbach is part of today, but Shiny Arbach is gold. Yeah, it's just a different color one. I don't blame people for thinking that. Will Chaos team have 5 megas and a low all signature Z moves for Ash team? I mean, I don't know, actually. I don't think like, at least for signature Z moves, that limits Ash's team a lot. Like, I think I'll probably include one, but, I'm not sure. We'll know when we get there. There are no hidden references in this episode. Who the hell is Nanette? Oh, this chick. I mean, possibly. Well, I say this chick like I know who this is. She's a character of the day. I mean, possibly. I already have all the companions laid out. There's one. I'm working on Johto a little bit. That's funny, Tarek. Tarek, I will say you're a little your old name is infamous for me and my friend group, like my fellow YouTube friends and stuff, because we'd always get the comments and Pokemon Has Been Hotel popped up, and it was and they're like, it's all about the video. They're like, but did Pokemon Has Been Hotel comment? So that's very funny. Shout out to you for being one of the OGs. I need to look up her personality in Masters, but that's Masters. I don't know if that should count. I mean, Iris is fine. I mean, like, I honestly, like, if you watch her, like, if you just, I feel like even just reading it, you're not, like, until you watch it all the way through, like, you won't get a good reading of Iris's personality, but it's a solid personality. If Tobias were to still use a single legendary, which do you think he'd use? I think Heatran, because your lore story states the possibility of multiples. If I had to give him one, Heatran would fit in that regard because there are multiple Heatrans. This weekend is crazy for me. An indie show I like released an episode. You released an episode, another stream looking for it. Damn, Breakfast Man, you got a lot going on. Can we see how big Brock's Onyx is compared to Ash's Arbok? Euphemism. It'll be hard to display in the show. Probably like this big, maybe. Maybe around like this big. My camera probably blocked some of that, but it's pretty big. Don't worry, Triangle. I love Jangmo-O. I think Jangmo-O is really awesome. I don't think he's gonna have a rare Pokemon like that, D'Amico. If only because I don't think there's any mythicals up to Gen 4 that I would give him like that. Jeez, man, retire. You know what, Salamander? You know what, Harris? I don't make the Blastoise emote, and you're really mean now, and you're a Charizard fan. I know you guys are just reacting to my comments, but what you guys posting all your ages makes me feel like I'm gonna be on a fucking watch list for like, how old are you guys? What Pokemon movie to me is underrated? I don't know. I like pretty much almost all the movies before Gen 5, so I don't think there's anyone I would like that is like underrated. I think I like pretty much the standard ones. I probably have more controversial takes on which movies I think are worse. Maybe Fashman, a female Gren who believes in Team Blazer to learn truth, joins Ash's team of adventures. What's her fucking fate? Rosa storyline. Kind of. Rosa has that. That's possible. The perfect streaming game combo is Dollywop and Resident Evil Village. I've actually rewatched some of my streams as I play games. Bombardier represents Sandal Krantz. Oh, nice. That's actually a good choice. What 6 Pokemon of Ash's is my least favorite? Not because they're the worst. Like, everybody has a least favorite child. Mine is I think really mine's Pikachu because I have to use Pikachu. But, like, of the ones I've made, probably Tangela. I still love Tangela to death. But, like, if Dad has a least favorite child, it is Tangela. But Tangela will get more as we go and stuff. But, like, I just like what I've done for others. Not ATR related, but are you looking forward to Poppy Playtime Chapter 5? Yeah, I am actually. And not because I play Poppy Playtime. I want to see game theory's explanation on it and what they derive from it. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm more looking forward to the game theory videos on it. It's like, I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's fans, but I love all the game theory Five Nights at Freddy's videos. Stat trainers have been taken in consideration for the Sinnoh thing. Also, as a rotating group is interesting. That's a interesting idea, Jason. I still got to give a shout out to Quiznos for the fun idea of the Snorlax old man from the Orange Islands as Green's grandfather. That was a really solid idea I'm using. Why give Ash an Arbok? It doesn't seem like an Ashmon. Because I can make it an Ashmon. Because a lot of my choices are Pokemon people don't expect for Ash, and it's more of just writing them in a way that fits for Ash. Because in reality, anything can be an Ashmon if you just write it well enough. Like, Gliscor isn't an Ash Pokemon, but people associate Gliscor with Ash. Yeah, no, I thought I wanted I had the Geodude evolution planned since I decided I was doing this tournament. Yeah, Broxonix is massive. That's why Lucy likes him. Fuck. Oh man, I'm fucking gross. Yeah, I wanted to give something to show off that Brock has made a lot of progress beyond his Bide strat, so evolving Geodude seemed like a good thing to do. Can you add Beedrill to Ash's team on this image? I know, yeah, no, you know what? He deserves it. Where's the boy? There he is. There's the OG. Put him up there. He flying. Where was the Blastoise dancing this episode? I didn't have time to make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make a Blastoise dancing emote. You'll see it. What would your explanation be of shiny legendaries be? There's not gonna be shiny legendaries. They just don't make sense. Maybe if there's multiple of a legendary, there can be a shiny one, but overall. I'm glad to be the 1% in the group as a joke. Thank you, truly. Yeah, it's not to make fun of you, by the way. It's just it was a funny name they read. They're like, Pokemon Has Been Hotel. It's tough. So now it's running. So now it's the gag. I feel like has Been Hotel commented? Like something I feel like you can do for Pikachu is make it evolve in Alola special evolution from an who evolved their starter in Sinnoh but started in Kanto. Yeah, it's an interesting way. I got some ideas for Pikachu. Don't worry. What's your favorite ATR mon from worst to best? So I think it goes Tangela, then Arbok because he's so new. Then I think Ninetales. Well, Pikachu's at the bottom. Then I think it's Golduck and Cube under top. Beedrill I think is the king. Gotta love Beedrill. He made a sacrifice to make this team awesome. So, you know, like, I gotta always put respect on my boy Beedrill. He's the OG. He started it all. You know, there's no Golduck character arc without Beedrill. So, how could I? You know, I always find chatting stream boring, but I've never once found myself bored in one of these. I'm happy about that. I think it's because I have enough. There's enough. I'm able to read almost all the comments because there's like enough of you that we keep a healthy supply of comments coming in. But there's not so much that I miss everybody as I go down the list. Plus, I'm nuts. And it's fun for me to rant about stuff and give opinions that you guys don't like. Have you ever looked back at your old ATR list and how do you feel about them? We'll go over those now. We can go over those. I'm not a big fan of the Kanto one. Honestly, I'm a fan of them in the way that they got me started. You know, and some of their choices are really great. But I'm not a fan of them in the regard that, like, you know, I had the wrong mentality going through. I don't like, for Johto, I don't like Espeon and Quagsire on them because I feel like I really gave up on those. I feel like I really gave into the, like, well, normal people do that, you know, so thing. Really proud of Salamence on Hoenn. I think that was a very fun choice. Sinnoh could have been better. I liked Roserade on the team. I think the other choices could have been a lot better. Unova, I have no strong feelings for or against. It was a very open book, so it was just like, you know, maybe Darmanitan could have been changed to, like, a Heatmore. But overall, it was one of those things where it's like, all right, you know, it's a good one. Kalos, I think I did, it was just a hard list. I really like Meowstic on it. But the rest, I'm, you know, I don't care more or less. Alola, I was proud of the ideas on there. I think Salazzle was a fun choice. I really liked Araquanid. Kartana and Marshadow were solid choices. So yeah. Brock's Onyx should fight Lorelai's Cloyster. Funny. Golduck looks the way it does because I kept the Psyduck eyes on it, you know? So he's still that guy that holds his head at the end of the day. How would Beedrill feel about Ninetales, Cubone, and Arbok and Golduck evolving? I think he wouldn't like Ninetales' attitude, but understand because he's so similar to Ash that she just needs worked on. He'd get along great with Cubone. Arbok, we'll see because I have to show you guys more of Arbok off. But Golduck, he'd be really proud of. He would be really proud that little Psyduck really took his words to the heart and really stepped up. The Splatter Sparks, you always get me with that fucking Eggman. I miss Ash's Beedrill, Dolly. I miss him a lot. I'll be back. So why Arbok? It was literally, I just went down the list, and it's just the one I settled on. And I really like the idea of him being, like, a very intimidating Pokemon, but just very lonely and wants a lot of friends and kind of kiddish. Breakfast Man, I get it, you know, but like I see rest is a strategy, you know, not like it's Gary being smart. I know some people in the comments called it out. They're like rest, you know, rest stall. It's like, no, guys, look, he's smart. He knows that you're good. Ash has disable and he didn't use it because he's stupid. So fun fact, actually, Ocean Lake Boy, when I get to Hoenn, I'm going to be using the redesigns from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for all the characters because they're just so much better designs. Who's to say, Axo, maybe we don't even get Jigglypuff till Orange Islands. Personally, I think they should have gone with Gibble over Gliscor. I love the Goofball, but it barely did anything. Yeah, they didn't really do a lot with Gliscor. It was like he evolved due to Gary and then was sent off to train with someone else. Really great training on Ash's end there. Aerodactyl, Cleavor, Shedinja, Hisuian Typhlosion, Spirit Team. That's a solid team. That's a solid team, Misoji. It has like the perfect amount of rareness that would make like replace like a legendary team and a great amount of power. I can't help you, Breakfast Man. Fight out there. Fight in Resident Evil. My favorite of your old team might be Hoenn, mostly because it's a lot of my Sapphire team members. I had Swampert, Breloom, Camerupt, Absol, Arturo, and Pikachu. Yeah, no, I mean, I think overall Hoenn was a solid team, and if I didn't change it, like if I couldn't change any of my teams, the Hoenn team would be the one I keep. What do Ash's Pokemon to consider my favorite? Of his original teams, Bulbasaur is always like an OG for me. You know, shout out to him. For this team, we already went to that. Cubone evolving a little Marowak would be fun. Ash is gonna to be tired of everything when we get to cows. Is he gonna be like Jane Yuki in C4? Kind of, like better than that, but like kind of. You know, we'll see more as we develop into it. So, I just realized your name is Judai. Huh, funny. Jaden, Judai. I really hate having this weird out-of-place feeling of Ash not having a fire type when trying to make new teams for him. Yeah, that was some of the process, you know, where it feels like he's missing a slot if he doesn't have certain types, you know? Or if you double one types. It's either something you live with or you grow past or do thing. So, Ruben, Gliscor getting the, or not Gliscor, Beedrill getting the scarf was basically just me to be able to identify Beedrill very easily on screen when there's so many Beedrills on screen. And then it kind of came an inadvertent, then it became a Gurren Lagann kind of sort of reference. And then it was, I realized that I inadvertently given him a scarf, like how Butterfree got a scarf in its episode. Pikachu, Beedrill, Sandshot, Persian, Parasect, Vapor, and Arcanine. That's a solid team, Fandom Tarek. I like that. But for Stream, should we give all of Ash's Pokemon nicknames? Because it does get a feel saying the name of the Pokemon and cute. Yeah, in the future. We'll do that next stream, because I think we're wrapping up here, because my dogs are acting up, and we've been going a hot minute. So I'm just getting these last questions. Is it kind of weird? I think Nidoran and Nidoking would have fit better. Yeah, but it's sort of like say the Arcanine fitting over Ninetales, where it's like, yes, by default it feels more like a protagonist Pokemon. It's the reason why I avoided doing it, Splatter. So it's like, while I don't choose anything that Ash caught before, if I do choose something obvious like an Arcanine or a Nidoking, I will give them a different enough personality to not make them what people think. Oh yeah, for the other regions, I will definitely have Ash's teams fully planned for the start. Kanto went through a little bit of a thing where, like around the Pewter City, you know, that's where kind of things went off the rail, or at Mount Moon actually. Mount Moon, things went off the rails of my original plan, so I've changed it up. So like every other team will be solidified before I start writing. And for the most part, they almost all are. Like, Johto's done. Johto's complete. It's up. The others might need a little work back and forth. I haven't even finished Alola. I feel like the anime ruins sleep/rest as a potential strategy as a whole, since the OG treated sleep as a KO. Yeah, it was so weird about how they did that Electro Pikachu, where it's just like, I can understand Ash losing in the Kanto League, because it's like literally, beyond just Charizard sleeping, it's like Charizard literally is not listening to this guy, so it's just potentially Ash's Pokemon getting hurt because it's disobedient. But then it's like, sometimes it sleeps okay, sometimes sleeps a knockout. It's kind of hard to think. What side of the family is Granny Ketchermon, and what does she look like? She looks like Ash as an old woman. She was just a one-off joke. She was real. She was Delia's mom, who passed before Ash met her. I think Ash Turtwig should have stayed as Turtwig. He should have gotten a Hippopotas involved it. But I feel like for the people who say Ash's Turtwig should fail Turtwig, but then they give him a Hippowdon, you're just running into the same strat, but like of Ash having a tank Pokemon. You know, Ash has plenty of speedy Pokemon on that team, so just make Torterra good as a stagnant fighter like Hippowdon would be. How do you feel about Nikolai the Knickerbocker in Hoenn and Kitty Beer Arrival? I want to do something with him. One of my favorite story ideas for Nolan Ash would be growing bored of Pokemon Valley for years, and the Rush Shine in his arc is slowly regaining his spark. See, that's a great way of thinking about that. How did Oak react to Arbok? He'd be really fascinated by its different coloration and the fact that it's so huge. But I think with that, we're going to wrap up stream. I got to pee. My dogs look like they have to go out and pee. So this has been fun. This has been a fun Saturday stream. I'm going to get to work on the next episode, start planning that out, so hopefully it can be ready in 2 weeks, guys. Thank you all for watching. This has been a fun time, and I'll talk to you later.